Welcome to the Two Rash Challenges podcast bonus podcast, man. This is our 2020-21 Premier League preview. We have all the important people here. Andrew Wells, Eric Neal, myself, Dave Lewis. First time ever, all live together. What's up, guys?
I'm not too bad. How's yours?
Good, man. Good. What's it like? What's it like over there in Newcastle? How's the weather?
Well, it's been a bit sunny today, but you never know what happens over here. It could rain every 5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, Eric's over in a pub. I don't know where you are, man.
Yeah, look, I love the Zoom virtual backgrounds. If you're listening to this, it doesn't mean anything to you, but I always make sure I'm reporting from virtual St. James's Park. And now for the special preview, I thought I'd just get the pub background going.
Yeah, you've been drinking because you know Newcastle's going to be crap this season. All right. How we're going to do this, my friends, is I'm going to go over Liverpool first, since they're the love of my life. They're my lover. They're everything to me. And don't chime in, Wellesley or Eric. Let me get through this first. I'm going to talk about Liverpool. Then you guys can get to your Newcastle. That'll be the depressing part of the show. Let's recap last season just real quick before we get to the preview of 2020 season. They were the best defensive team. They won the league by 18 points, a saunter, as they say. 32 wins. They tied Man City for the most Premier League history. They never lose at home. I mean, this team over the last 3 years, never loses at home. Okay, they lost, but they end a 30-year drought. It was all beautiful. As Eric would say, it's sunshine, rainbows, and roses. And I'm not going to let you piss on my parade, Eric Neal. So let's go over this season, okay? Do you want to say anything about last season real quick, guys? Anything real quick? Wellesley, I've never really talked to you about Liverpool's season last year. Give me your quick 30-second take on last year.
Well, I've got to say Liverpool did play really well, but I do think he's got a little bit lucky with Man City's injuries. I've got to openly say that. Because, right. I mean, if Laporte hadn't got injured, I think it would have been a hell of a lot closer of a title run.
Yeah. No, 18 points. If people weren't injured, it would have been 10. So there you go, right? All right. Eric, I don't need to hear from you.
Asterisk FC.
All right. Let me just go over this coming season here. We've got the same squad. Eric has reminded me that somehow the Fenway group has tightened their purse strings. They're not spending any money. We know that. But let's look at this squad. You have Alisson, one of the best in the Premier League, maybe in the world. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mr. Assist Machine. Van Dijk is the best central defender, I don't care what anybody says, in the world. Joe Gomez might be the weakest spot there. But he has another year under his belt. That's the one place where I would have liked them to strengthen a little bit. And then Eric's favorite guy, Mr. Robertson. He loves Mr. Robertson. Okay, in the midfield, you got Fabinho, Henderson, Keita, Wijnaldum. Maybe Wijnaldum is gone. We don't know, but maybe Thiago's in. We'll see about that. The midfield's fine. And then up top, you got the big three. Salah, Firmino, Mane. I mean, there's nobody better in the world. The problem is there's no bench. You got the Ox, Origi, Minamino, Milner, and Matip as your backup defender. That makes me nervous. Okay, the new signings for Liverpool, and I shouldn't say signings, I should say signing, is Samigas, who's going to back up Robertson. And that's it. Don't laugh, Eric Neal. Don't you laugh. That is it. I mean, that's the problem here. So breakout stars, I'm going to give you real quick for Liverpool. Curtis Jones and Ryan Brewster one of these guys is going to break into the squad, going to be playing FA Cup games. So that could feel like a signing. But again, I'm going to have to be honest here and say it's pretty weak that they didn't spend a lot of money or any money. So I am worried, but this is what I think is going to happen. Liverpool is still going to win this thing, and they're just going to win it by less. So that's kind of my take on the season. I am worried. They're not going to get 99 points. They're not going to dominate like they did last year. City will come up. Chelsea will come up. We'll get to our top 4 picks later, but I'm still feeling cautiously optimistic about Liverpool. So that's kind of how I see it. What do you guys think of Liverpool's season coming up? Or do you want to get into that?
Do you realize you just did a Newcastle and
what
said that will feel like a new signing? See, this is famous what we do because we never sign anyone, right? So you wait and some lone player comes back and you go, well, hey, we've got Murphy back from loan. That feels like a new signing.
Or an injured player comes back.
Right,
Hey, it feels like a new signing.
Exactly. You just did a Newcastle.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the problem is, we have points to spare. So if we don't do as well, we're not going to go down to your level like 40 points. So the thing is, I understand that logic, and I hate to admit that Eric's right. But that's the one concern. I mean, 1 through 11, I think they're as good as City. Maybe City on paper has better players, but I like Liverpool. I like what they did last year. I'm worried about them being a slightly thin, but that's about it. Other than that, I have no concerns.
What do you think, Wellesley? What do you think about Liverpool coming up?
Well, personally, I think you're going to suffer a bit of a hangover season, if I'm being 100% honest. Just because obviously you're going to go in with that, we're champions sort of logic, and then if you get injuries, you're basically kind of knackered, I've got to admit. But
that's kind of how I saw it, Wellesley. I see it as we got lucky with injuries. You said before that City had a lot of injuries. We didn't. Mane, Salah, and Firmino. If something happens to one of them, I never feel confident with Origi coming in for a long period of time. And Minamino is good. I like him, but he's an FA Cup 20-minute school. Play 20 minutes a game here and there, but he's not a starter either. And Keita worries me a little bit. So there's some holes here, but it's a team that had 99 points with holes. I mean, the holes aren't that big.
I don't really worry. I think it's like what Wellesley's saying is right. It's not the players. And everyone gets injuries, so that doesn't necessarily mean I really feel like it's impossible to keep that fire going when you've reached that goal that has been anything that the club's thought about for all that time. It's impossible to keep the levels that high. I think that's the only concern that I really have.
Wellesley, did you see anything in the Community Shield game? I know it's the Community Shield, but I think people cared about it. Did you see something there that is telling you that they're going to burn out this year a little bit?
Well, I kind of was stuck watching highlights because I was actually out during the Community Shields, unfortunately. But
yeah, I didn't watch it either.
When I did see, it looked like when you don't have Trent in your side, you do not look like the same team you have been. It's like he's just spine of your team, if I'm being 100% honest. And
the weird thing was that Robertson was probably the man on the match in the game. The guy played. He had great passes and all that, but it's a defender as your best player is not always the best thing unless you're Van Dijk.
Well, though it's right. You guys are cross merchants, and when you have both of them in, it makes sense because you get unbalanced. You're trying to cover one, and then the other one does it to you. But when it was just Robertson, you knew it was coming from that side. You knew nothing was going to be coming in from the right, so you could just play off, and it wasn't as big of a threat. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not worried about you like you guys are going to not be in the top 4.
Right.
I just think it's impossible. You had a 1.5 year run of the most incredible results, the highest quality football, like the energy, the intensity was there. You can't keep that up forever. And that's why you bring players in. You bring new people in to push the people that have been there. That's my only concern. I don't think you can drop out of the top.
And I don't think Thiago's happening. It feels like you guys and your owners, like Thiago was a done deal. And now I'm wondering, I think he's either going to stay at Bayern Munich or he's going to go to Barcelona. I have a feeling he might not make it to Liverpool. And if that is our big signing that we're not getting, that feels like a loss as well. So we'll see. If Wijnaldum goes to Barcelona, you have to get somebody in. You can't have that happen because Wijnaldum's great. I'll get to my top 4 after we get to your Newcastle stuff. Let's go to your Newcastle because this is the comedy part of the show.
No. Well, see, I'm gonna let you take it away because everything I've seen online, it actually is sunshine and rainbows.
I couldn't agree more. Although if you had said last week, you would have been like, "Oh, this is just going to be one of them seasons where we're just going to be like, Lord, please let us just stay up." But obviously, since the new lads have came in, it's just completely changed the mood around. Obviously with Callum Wilson, he's a Premier League proven striker and someone we've been begging for years, ever to be replaced. Joe Linton, he hasn't hit the ground running, let's be 100% honest there. And then obviously with Wilson, he's going to bag at least 10 goals a season. So even if he has a down like he had last season where he got 8, you're still gonna have more than what we had last season. So things are looking up, and obviously with Ryan Fraser, who was actually 4th in the Premier League assist last year, you just know you're gonna finally get some deliveries coming in. So I just think we're gonna be a lot better this year, if I'm being 100% honest.
Yeah, and see, it reminds me a little bit of when we got Rondon in, because we had the same kind of problems. Like there was no tip of the spear, so we could pass the ball all over, we could do all sorts of things, but when you don't have that threat to worry about, it makes it easy to mark up everything coming through the midfield and whoever you have playing at front. But once we got Rondon in, who could bring a ball down, hold up the play, bring others in, it opened everything up for everyone else. And I think it's a similar thing that's going to happen here. People are going to have to pay attention to Wilson, and that's only going to give more space to St. Maximin and to Almiron and to Frazier. So I think I'm not saying, Champions League, here we come, but I think we've gone from, like Wellesley was saying a week ago, like I see relegation written all over this, to comfortably in the middle of the table somewhere, a little bit below top 10, right at top 10, somewhere around there.
I think, though, guys, you have to remember – Eric's delusional. You have a coach that can screw this all up. And that's – I think on paper, these were great signings. I think Wilson's good. If he gets 10 goals, I think that's a miracle under Bruce. I think, though, Wellesley, that forget Champions League. You made a Champions League. You still got to think about championship. I mean, I think you could still be in the relegation zone even with these signings, because Bruce will F this up, man. He'll find some way, man. I don't know how you feel about the job he did last year. How do you rate him last year, Wellesley?
Well, personally, when I saw him come in last year, I was like, fuck's sake. But, obviously, he proved the doubters wrong and actually finished in the roughly same place as Rafa. So it was much better than what we thought. And, now he's bringing, a main core of the team where he wanted a mainly British team. So with the signs he's brought in, he's clearly done that. And I honestly think, though, if everything goes well, but it's Newcastle, so things are going to fuck up, to be honest. But I honestly think I'm with Eric, and I've honestly got us down for an 11th place finish, if I'm being honest.
Wow, I cannot wait to revisit this. 11th. I just don't see it, guys.
Look, if Wellesley's going to over-under, you know me. I'm the most pessimistic Newcastle person ever. I'm taking the over. We're going with 10th place for Newcastle.
I see 13th or high. I think 13th would be – you would sign up for 13th right now. You both –
okay, yeah.
You would sign up for that.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you, if it's December and you guys are, dying for points, do you change Bruce out? Let's say you have 15 points by Christmas, something like that. Do you move on from Bruce? I don't know where you go. I don't know. I'm so down on that guy. Whatever.
Let me tell you this real quick. I'm looking at the fixtures here, and we usually have a brutal start to every single season. It's the end of September, and we're already in the bottom 3, just struggling. But we got West Ham on Saturday.
It's a win.
And then we've got a EFL Cup second round against Blackburn. I don't really care about that. But then we got Brighton and Spurs. And then to start October, Burnley.
No, you can get points there. You can get points.
That should be 4 to 6 points easily. Anything better than that, I feel like we're way ahead of the game. And so I don't look. It's a strange feeling. I don't understand it because I never get this with Newcastle. But I'm cautiously optimistic.
Okay, all right, I'll buy that. Look, you have a great goal. You have a great keeper in Dubravka. Almiron, I think, can go for 10 goals and 10 assists this year.
Oh,
right? Wasn't it this? Now remind me, because last year was such a long season. Wasn't it the beginning of the season when Almiron was still had no goal, one goal in his career? Was that, or is that the year before?
I don't think he scored in his first goal till, wasn't it November or something?
Right, it was right? Wasn't that this year?
It was around November. It was against Palace, so that was around, I think it was mid-November.
Right, and you guys were saying he's playing really well. He's just not the assists and goals aren't happening, but he's playing really well. And then they started coming, And I just think he could have a big season. What do you think? I mean, do you think he could have that breakout season? I mean, 10 goals, 10 assists would be massive.
Incredible.
Maybe not 10 assists. Maybe I'm reaching there, but 10 and 7, 10
Look,
and 5.
I would take 5 and 5 from him, to be honest.
Are you serious?
If he kept up his levels that he's been at and produced 5 and 5, look, I'd be all over it.
All right. Well, we'll check these numbers later. All right, you guys got anything else? You guys have 11th and 12th, 13th, whatever you guys have. Wellesley has 11th.
Wellesley has 11th. I have 10th. I'm sure you said you have Liverpool winning it. So let's move on from that and get to our top 4 predictions. Here's what I think we do. Let's go. You do your top 4 first. Then we'll go to Wellesley.
Okay.
And then I'll do my top 4.
All right.
In order.
Sounds good. So I'll give you my top 4 right now.
Yeah.
It's Liverpool, but it's going to be scary. I have them at about 93 points. They're going to drop 6 points from last year. City, who had 81, are going to move up 10 points to 91. So they're going to be in second place. You guys don't have to give your point totals, but I just want to show City will be coming up, Liverpool will be coming down, but it still won't be enough for City. So Liverpool 1, City 2. I have to go with Chelsea. Those signings, look, on paper are amazing, but I think those are great players. So I think, they're going to be at about 81 points. And then I have to go with Manchester United. I think the signings they made with, what's his name, Van de Beek and Fernandez, who is a beast. Maybe Pogba plays a little better. De Gea makes me nervous, but I think he'll either – did Henderson come back? I don't even remember. Did he come back?
Yeah, he came back.
Okay. Is he going to start? What do we think? I don't know.
I think they'll start Henderson in the cups, but
you think so? They'll stay with De Gea, right? That worries me a little that they're going to stick with De Gea, but and I think Sanchez is going to get some time. Alexis Sanchez. I think Solskjaer wants. That's cuckoo.
Hey, like a new signing.
Yeah, it's like a new signing. Yeah, really expensive, lame signing. So I was thinking Spurs maybe. Forget Arsenal. I don't think that. I think Arsenal is going to be improved, but I think it's going to be Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Manchester United. What do you guys got?
All right, Wellesley.
Well, for me, I've got to go for Chelsea at the top because if all them signings click on the floor.
Really? Nice.
Really? If they all click, that's going to be some team like they're going to have. I mean, obviously the goalkeeper's a bit of an issue, but best form of defense is attacking. So
it's going to be a lot of 4-3 games, though, I think.
And they've got a hell of an amount of cover as well. So, yep. And then second, I've got Man City. I feel like they're going to be.
Sorry.
I feel like they're going to be out for a bit of revenge after last season. And although I do think if they're still in the Champions League around the quarterfinals, they're going to focus more of the attention onto that. Because I really think it's last chance saloon for Pep with that. So I think he's going to put all his eggs in that basket.
Do you have Liverpool relegated?
I've got Liverpool in third. Like, as I said earlier, I think it's going to be a bit of a hangover season. And I don't think you'll be able to keep it up from last season, if I'm being 100% honest. So, and then in fourth place, I've got Man U again. So I just feel like with the way the FA kind of told things, I know it sounds a little bit biased, but the amount of penalties they get and the style they were coming together with. I mean, they haven't lost a game since they brought in Bruno Fernandes, I believe. So they're really starting to gel together. But I don't think Solskjaer's got enough of the experience to put them into a proper title fight.
Right? Ole at the wheel. I like it. All right. So I'm kind of similar to Wellesley a little bit, except I've got City coming back, and they've got their team together. As long as the injuries don't bite them again, I see them actually come not back to their 100-point record selves, but I think they've got more than enough in the tank. I've got Chelsea second.
Oh my God! Did you guys talk before this?
No. We're different. He had Chelsea City. I have City Chelsea. It's different. Yeah. And then I also have Liverpool third with the hangover. This is my bank it, put the mortgage on it, do whatever you have to do, get down to the bookie. Spurs in fourth, the last Champions League
That's
spot.
A Jose. You watched that Jose documentary. You're all excited.
Oh, God. Look, I'm telling you, Spurs fourth. Book it right now. You probably get a good number on that, right, Wellesley?
Yeah, probably. Think about 50-1. I haven't got the odds on it, but I'm guessing about 50-1.
Yeah, I like it.
For them to get in the top 4 or 4th. So for Spurs to get in the top 4, 50-1. Yeah.
Sign me up, man. Sign me up.
Do you guys see Arsenal? Look, I know they're not good defensively still. Anything special going on with Arteta? I feel like something shifted with Arteta. The players aren't still the best, I know. But anyway, they sneak in the top 4. Any scenario where they get in?
I
No?
can't say it. I think the top 4 will just constantly break away, and then I think they'll finish 5th if I'm being 100% honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so, but it wouldn't shock me. I mean, look, I count the Community Shield as a trophy. I don't think it's the same as winning one of the other cups.
It's a plate.
It's a plate, and it's a one-off match. So,
yeah.
But for them to win the FA Cup, I mean, think about where they were in the middle of.
That's what I mean.
Like David Luiz looked like he was like a complete shambles. I mean, it looked like they were so far from it. To come back and win the FA Cup and then beat Liverpool. I don't care if Liverpool were down the man or weren't taking it seriously. They wanted to win that back to back. That's really a statement. And it may not be this year, but in the next couple years, if they spend a little bit of money and give him the type of people that he wants, I think they will get there. It just maybe not this year.
Yeah, and it's the same old Arsenal. They just want top 4. They don't want to win the title. So that'll be good, All right, let's move on to the relegated teams. Wellesley, who do you have going down this year?
Well, this year I've got West Brom going down because really they haven't really brought anybody in, and Charlie Austin's still going to be leading the line for them. So, like, he's 38, he's overweight. I can't see them doing much. But then I've got Fulham also going down because, like, basically they haven't really altered their squad too much from the last time they were up, and like Parker was getting in the Championship, Parker was getting beat by some unknown guys. So imagine what's going to happen when Pep and Klopp come against them. They're just going to get battered. And then the last one, I've got Villa. I just had to put them in. They scraped it last year through electronic faults. So I just feel like it's going to catch up with them and they'll be down this year.
All right. What do you got, Eric?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Going to me.
Yeah.
I've got West Ham. It's weird because they actually have some sort of decent players, but they just aren't any sort of a team. And Moyes is shocking as a manager. I rated him so highly when he was at Everton, but ever since he's left, it's like
Manchester United ruined him. It just killed him.
He's a shell of himself, man. So I've got West Ham going down. I also have West Brom going down and Villa. I agree with Wellesley. Like they never should have stayed up to begin with. And they were very, very fortunate to stay up at the end. I think they're going to get exposed this year.
Yeah, I mean, no surprises for me. I had West Brom, West Ham, and this is going to surprise you guys because I think they're a solid. I feel like Brighton's going to slip. So I have Brighton in there. I know they did, they were up and down last year and they finished in a good position, but I'm going to put them in there just because I don't like agreeing with you guys. All right, let's go to our surprise team of the season. Who is going? I have a feeling two of us are going to say the same thing. Who is our surprise team? Mine is Leeds. I know that's kind of the popular choice, but I think it's a popular choice because it's a good choice. Look, they got that big signing, the Brazilian Rodrigo, who's good from Spain. He was kind of not doing great in Spain, but I think he's going to do well in the Premier League. Bielsa's a great coach. He's a little nutter, which I like. He does a pressing, kind of fast-paced, fun-to-watch style. And I think he's going to go for it. And sometimes that can be a problem for teams that are promoted. They go for it, and they get crushed. But I think they're going to go for it, and they're going to and I think I had here predicting that they're going to be above Newcastle. So there you go. Leeds is my surprise team. They're my Sheffield United for this year.
Wellesley?
Well, for me, this might seem a bit of a weird one, but I've went Everton just because obviously it's Ancelotti's first full season, so he's managed to build the squad the way he likes it, and the transfers they've managed to get in this year. I mean, James Rodriguez, Decore. I mean, there's even talk they're going to get Hervin Lozano. So, I mean, if you get them, well, like once again, if they click, I don't think they'll bottle it like they usually do. And like, I honestly think they could even finish in the top 8, if I'm being 100% honest. But it all comes down to little T-Rex arms Pickford. But like, I think he's gonna like want to come out and basically just say, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna prove how good I actually, keeper I actually am." So I hate to admit that, but I honestly feel like he's got a point to prove this season. So.
All right, good shout, Wellesley, on Everton there. I think that may actually be a good one. Ancelotti, man, he's not one for shenanigans, so I could see them actually doing something this year. For me, it's like you said, Dave. It's a surprise team that's not really a surprise. I got Leeds. I think Bielsa, he's just such a quality manager that they're going to do pretty well. I think if my prediction comes true and Newcastle are a 10th or 11th place team, we move up just a touch from our traditional landing spot there. I think we'll do better than Leeds, but I could see Leeds right there around the same area, like mid-table.
Wellesley, were you tempted by Leeds at all? I know you went with Everton, and that was a good shout, but were you tempted by Leeds at all?
Like, I was a little bit. When you've actually seen like the type of money they're spending for like a newly promoted team, you start to think like they're really starting to go for a push. So I just thought it was like too obvious to be a surprise team, really. But
would you guys be surprised if Leeds tanks though? Like, that'd be more a shocker to me if they get relegated. I mean, that'd be surprising to me. I mean, a real shocker. I think remember Fulham a couple years ago when they came up and they were like, "Hey, we're just going to play the way we played before," and they were horrendous. And they went right back down. Like, I don't think that's going to happen with Leeds. Like, that's why I had them as my surprise team. Is that your thinking, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be. You're right. It would be a bigger surprise if it all went to hell. But then again, maybe not. I mean, every year it seems like everyone picks all 3 newly promoted teams to be relegated, just because it's such a jump in level. And even when you do really well in the championship, it doesn't always translate. I mean, if you look at Newcastle, we were a very good example of that. I think we did very well in the championship, but all of a sudden you come up and get that jump in quality, and the same players who were killing it for you week in and week out all of a sudden look very average or below average. So the fact that they're investing the money they're investing, like Wellesley said, and that they have such a good manager, I think is what breaks them out of that mold of looking like, where Fulham.
Plus, Newcastle had to have Rafa Benitez in the championship as your coach, you better come up. I mean, that was bizarre that he's doing that work.
That's
and brings them back up. Yeah. All right, let's move on, man. Golden Boot winner. I'll go first. So this is kind of a weird one. I wanted to pick Danny Ings of Southampton, who is a former Liverpool player. I wanted Klopp to keep him because I really liked him. I think he's quality. Then he goes on to score 22 goals in 38 appearances, almost gets the Golden Boot, which would have been a shocker. But I can't pick him again. He's probably going to dip down to like 15, which is amazing. So I can't really pick him again. I'm sure you guys will pick Aubameyang or Aguero or Werner or Vardy, all those same old guys. But the same old guy I'm going to pick is Salah. I think he's going to, look, what do you have, 32 goals a couple years ago? Just came up short of Alan Shearer's record. The guy still scores on a bad year over 20 goals. I think he's going to rebound with like 25 goals. And then next year he'll go back. The flopping will be annoying. Eric will hate it. He might go down to like 12, 15 goals. And then Liverpool should get rid of him. But this is his last big season. Diving or no diving, Eric, he's going to win the Golden Boot. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I really feel like I hope he gets like 35 goals, and then Mane gets like 3, and that all hell breaks loose in the dressing room, and it causes you guys to drop out of the top 4. Like, that way, I'll settle for that. He can have the Golden Boot and the Selfish Player of the Year award, but man, I don't think there's any way that he wins the Golden Boot and everybody on that team stays happy.
What's the over-under on Mane flipping him off this year? 2 times, 3 times?
I think it's even money. It's happening for sure. What do you think,
okay.
Wellesley?
I think it's definitely going to happen between Salah and Mane going at each other. The way they play, it's just, Mane is just desperate to try and prove people wrong, and Salah will just keep trying to prove his form. But
yeah.
Hey, look, if you know what, Salah still gets double-digit assists. He must pass sometimes. I mean, he's not like he didn't have 32 goals and like 1 assist. He did pass the ball. When he wants to pass, he can do it.
No, I think the only time he passes is when Klopp makes him give someone else the penalty. He hands them the ball.
Yeah. All right. What do you guys got? Eric, what do you got?
Look, I am going with the obvious choice. I think Aubameyang. If I heard right, he's signing a 3-year deal to stay at Arsenal, which they had to have. I mean, you go from like possibly challenging for the Champions League to like bottom half of the table if you don't have him. So everything goes through him. He's so quality, as you saw in the FA Cup and you saw in the Community Shield. Like he can change a match all by himself. So I think that it's him. I think he's going to make it happen, and followed closely by the usual suspects, Salah and Aguero.
What do you guys think? I'll go to you, Wellesley. I'm a big fan of Vardy. I mean, the guy's amazing. He was like bagging groceries 10 years ago. I don't know what he was doing. But to have he's one of the top. Would you put him up there as one of the best Premier League strikers? Look, he's no Alan Shearer and all that, but maybe that next level of Premier League strikers of all time. I mean, the guy is an incredible record. What do you think of him?
Well, obviously, there's no denying Vardy's got like a rags to riches story from what's gone on, but and he is a good striker, hands down. But I've got to say, he's like more like a tier 2 type in the list compared to like Shearer, Henry, etc.
Yeah, Henry, they're up there. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I think Vardy's got over 100. He's got triple digits in goals. I know in the Premier League, but like I don't know what it is. I don't want to get a Fudo, so but I know he's up there. So who do you have for this year, Wellesley?
Well, once again, I've kind of gone for the obvious, but I've went for Timo Werner this time, just because obviously I've went Chelsea to win the league, so you've got to go for their striker to lead the race, really. So, but when you also look at Werner, he's proven himself everywhere, like in the Nationals and Bundesliga. He teared it up in, let's be honest, a quite average Leipzig team. But with now, he's got like Ziyech, Kai Havertz, and Mason Mount, Pulisic. The list is endless for how many players are going to put into him. So, honestly, and his pace is going to be a big deal against defenders. So, I honestly reckon I'm guessing around 27 goals this season in Cup and League.
You better do that if you want Chelsea to win this title, man. All right, let's move on to the sack race. Why don't you go first, Eric? I want to see who you think is going to get the axe first. Jose Mourinho, maybe?
Nope. I mean, this maybe could go for surprise of the season, but my first manager to be sacked, the winner of the sack race, Jurgen Klopp. You gotta love it. What I've seen from Liverpool supporters recently has really shown their true colors, man. The Community Shield bottle job exposed how quickly they will turn on the players and the manager. They expected to roll over Arsenal in that, and when it wasn't going well, you even saw during the match, get rid of Wijnaldum, he's horrible, why is he even on our team? What's Klopp doing? What are these players? What's his lineup? All it would take is a good 3-match losing streak, and it would all come crumbling down. And now, it won't technically be a sacking, though, because Klopp will walk. I guarantee he's too proud of a guy, and he knows what he's done for this club. If he starts getting abused, I could see him in January being like, sayonara, you guys have fun, and walking away from it. So it's a little bit of a pipe dream, but, give me my dreams. I need my dreams.
Oh, my God. I mean, that doesn't quite count as a sack race, but I'll give it to you. That the chances of that, why don't you put $100 down on that one with the bookings?
Look, that would pay really well.
So you're predicting Klopp will just get so fed up. He hasn't gotten any signings. 3-game losing streak. Salah and Mane are arguing. Henderson's plantar fasciitis is bugging him. And
they put 10,000 fans back in the stadium when they all boo him.
And Twitter goes crazy, and then Klopp's like, I've had enough. I'm gonna F off here, and okay. Anyway, let's move on to Wellesley then.
Well, for mine, it's kind of, I've been debating this for a while, but I really can't decide between these two managers, between Dean Smith and David Moyes, because obviously Moyes, he's totally like bottled it, as has been said like loads of times before. I mean, the Man U job destroyed him, failed at Sunderland, but everyone would fail there to be honest. But like obviously even more, and then you look like it also what's been going on at West Ham over the last couple of months, and their fans are going mental about their owners, but like what we were. And then you've also now got the players on Instagram and Twitter basically slamming the owners themselves, including the club captain. So he's basically got to try and pull the squad back together. And I don't think he's got the capabilities of doing that. And their pre-season has just been absolutely shocking. I mean, I reckon, and then you can move on to Dean Smith and Villa. I mean, he's a championship manager at best. I mean, he was getting outplayed by some of the much lower players and much lower managers, in that division. So, and then he's coming up here, and it was just, I just can't see really anything happening with them. If they lose Grealish, I think they've lost it. I think they've totally lost all their skills. So, I mean, like I reckon around December time we'll start seeing the axe fall on one of them too, and that's really all I can say on that.
Yeah, so I agree with you, Wellesley. I think David Moyes is. I mean, what happened to this man? He was so loved at Everton. I mean, obviously he goes to Manchester United, and anybody who's going to follow Sir Alex is just they're not going to do well. He shouldn't have taken that job. It was too early, right? And then where did he go? Like Spain somewhere? Didn't he go to Spain?
Went to Real Sociedad.
Yeah, that's right. Then he comes. I mean, and he just does not have a good brand of football for West Ham. So anyway, I was going to pick David Moyes, and I'll go with him like you. But my second pick is since Eric went with Klopp, I'm going with Jose Mourinho. Forget Steve Bruce because
come on.
Steve Bruce is going to make it through the year because they have nobody better. The cabbage will just make it through the year. Something's going to happen with Jose. I know you love him from this documentary, Eric. Something you think it's going to be. He's going to do great this year, and then maybe it'll implode the following year. I think it might implode this year because I don't think he's going to. I think Kane is going to have some busted legs. Something's going to happen with him. Dele Alli from this documentary we saw, he's too mellow, man. He doesn't have he's too chill for Mourinho. He's not a Mourinho player, man, even though he's so talented. The only guy there who I like is Son. So I think something's going to happen. Maybe he won't win the sack race, but he's not going to make it through the year. So that's who I have. But if I had put my money down, it's David Moyes.
How about this one?
No trophies this year, man.
He wins the Carabao Cup and gets sacked the second day or after that.
So you say he's going to win a trophy and he's good for a trophy, and you're right. But if he wins the Carabao Cup,
before he leaves Spurs,
he will
have won something. He will have won a trophy. He's won a trophy every single club.
But what if he wins the Carabao Cup? I mean, cannot say that's success.
If you're Spurs and you haven't won one in like 25 years or whatever it is.
I think they won it 2000. I'm going to get a Fudo. Didn't they win something in 2008? Wellesley? No? Do you remember?
I think it actually.
They won something.
The equivalent of what the Carabao Cup is now. So
the Carling Cup? Did they win the Carling Cup or something? I don't know. Yeah,
I think that's what it was called then, but I'm not. It's changed that many times. I can't remember.
All right. Well, see, you could break the tie here. If he wins that, and that's the only thing he wins the Carabao Cup this year,
and he comes in sixth. Is that
a successful season? Will Spurs fans be happy with that?
Well, I think fans, yes, I think they will, because let's finally end all this we're bottlers sort of scenario. But I don't think Daniel Levy will be too happy with it, because obviously with the stadium and the players, I think they're wanting to be in the Champions League. So, and if they fail in Europa, they're obviously going to be screwed again. And obviously, if they win the cup, they're back in Europa. But I don't think Levy will be happy with that. As I say, I think we just want top four.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's where Dave's scenario comes in. They win the Carabao Cup and he gets the sack. But everyone's happy. They got a trophy.
Yeah. So you guys had some wacky predictions in the show. I just want to point out. Wellesley has Chelsea winning the thing. You have City winning. You guys have, I think it was Eric who has Newcastle 10th or 11th, and you kind of agree, Wellesley. I think Eric's been drinking at the pub too long. So we're going to look at these predictions throughout the year, kind of just get a gauge on how we're doing. And at the end of the year, we're going to look at all these predictions. There's no way you guys are going to win this thing. I'm going to tally up who gets the most points out of these predictions.
Yep. Every correct prediction is a point. And what we'll do is we can even have a live table. Each week we can look and see where people are and just see like who's ahead. It'll be fun.
Our engineer Ezra will hate that, but we'll do that every week. I think it's a nice little added feature.
I like it. The live prediction live table.
All right. Well, so you go get your Chelsea jersey. I'll get you a Pulisic jersey. He's number 10 now. And all right, we did it, man. We wasted people's time. Usually people don't care about predictions because they're always wrong. I think I might be right on this one. We'll see. That's our show for this week. Please check us out on Twitter at @Rash_podcast, on Facebook at 2Rash Challenges, or email us at 2rashchallenges@gmail.com. Also check out our website, 2rashchallenges.com, where you can find articles, videos, and photos. And if you like the show, tell a friend and make sure you go to iTunes and give us a review. We'd really appreciate it. Until next time, for Eric, our producer and engineer Ezra Jack Lewis, our main man on the streets Andrew Wells, and myself, we say cheers.